And welcome back to the Oklahomans Election 2014 coverage. I'm Dave Morris. Thanks for joining us tonight. New at 9, Governor Mary Fallin and Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb both win a second term in office. Also, Steve Russell will be heading to the U.S. House of Representatives, filling that seat vacated by James Lankford. And several other races were declared early, in some cases just minutes after the polls closed. Here to talk about what we know at this point is Nick Trougakos. He's local editor with the Oklahoman. And joining us shortly on the phone will be the Oklahoman's man in Washington, Chris Casteel. But Nick, first, let's start with the biggest race in Oklahoma's midterm election. It's been called.
I assume you're meaning the governor's race here.
Referring to Governor Mary Fallin.
That is a race that, we thought might have had a little more traction than it did at the start of the night, and it has turned out to be something of a walkover for the incumbent Republican Governor Mary Fallin.
And you're looking at file video of Governor Mary Fallin right there. We'll have her acceptance speech later tonight.
Yeah, latest polling numbers with well over 3/4 of the precincts reporting show Fallin running about 55% to 41.5% over the Democratic challenger Joe Dorman. It looks like that this will be an easy walk to victory for Fallin, and it looks like this will be an easy walk to victory for most Republican candidates in the state. Much like in our last election in 2012, we are looking at a red sweep here. Our statewide races plus our congressional races, hard to see any Democrats making up the ground that they need to make up with as few precincts left as they have right now.
Talking with the Oklahoman's Nick Trougakos, and before we get away from that governor's race, she released an acceptance declaration, if you will. She says, serving as Oklahoma's governor has been the greatest honor of my life. I am incredibly humbled and thankful. Again, we'll hear more from Governor Mary Fallin later tonight. The State Election Board is reporting Republican candidate for state superintendent Joy Hoffmeister, as you mentioned, another Republican, a solid lead over Democratic candidate John Cox. I believe that's been called, actually.
And the latest from that, from the Cox Watch Party in Muskogee, our Jacqueline Cosgrove reports, Cox has made a concession speech there at that watch party, so it looks like the state superintendent seat will stay in Republican hands. Joy Hoffmeister, who defeated the incumbent Janet Barisi in the June primary, now finds herself in the position of power for our state education department.
And we were watching some file footage from that previous election. Not a lot of surprises this evening. James Lankford will fill the U.S. Senate seat vacated by Tom Coburn. He'll be headed to Washington alongside senior Senator Jim Inhofe. No surprises there.
A couple of easy wins there, and the Lankford race was really interesting. The Associated Press called that race at 7:03 p.m., a mere 3 minutes.